Dragon Age Inquisition is both the most extensive and the most ambitious project BioWare has released to date, a game that offers a large amount of varying environments to explore, and a plethora of hidden discoverable asides to the fantastically well-crafted main story mission segments. The game lavishes us unashamedly with high fantasy ideas, stunning vistas and epic cutscenes, a huge variety of creatures and animals, and to date the best animated dragons you will have seen in any video game. When a game offers you so much already, it really is a rewarding and wonderful experience to see a game developer, at last, bring the classic high fantasy dragon from their roots in Lord of the Rings through Dungeons and Dragons and beyond to life, and not just one, a full roster of distinct and individual dragons. The game centers around a well thought out epic plotline that follows the typical foundation of such plots. You are the hero, although you are not aware that you are one at the beginning, just a regular Joe or Sheila. Some epic misfortune takes place that threatens an unknown world, and you, with a bit of help, are the only one that can save it. That plot device may well be as old as literature itself, but it does not mean that when it is handled well, it cannot give us a thrill, an adventure worth embarking on. Graphically, Dragon Age Inquisition pushes hard. Using the Frostbite engine, BioWare have eloquently shown that their sense of artistic aesthetics is as sharp as ever. This bodes very well for Mass Effect 4. The graphical improvements that were made in Dragon Age 2 have been surpassed by a more extensive colour palette, more textures, better lighting, better animation, and even greater detailing. The most remarkable environments show just how large an environment the PlayStation 4 can actually handle, and this coupled with beautifully crafted skies, variable time and weather, often create great immersive moments. From rain-drenched swamps to endless desert to forest land, the variety of locations, the almost overwhelming amount of area to explore, and the freedom to do what you wish has never been expressed as well as in any BioWare title previously released. There is a limiter, and that is associated with the story missions, which cost a certain number of credits to embark upon, that you can earn by raising your reputation throughout the game world as the Inquisitor. As the story unfolds, many of the missions cost an increasing number of points to embark upon. However, this is a necessary game balancing mechanism, as each mission requires your party of characters to be of at least a certain level. Earning the points safeguard that you will do that in a level range, and therefore strong enough to complete the mission. This juxtaposition between exploration, side missions and exploring your base of operations against the individual distinct and memorable story missions works extremely well. It feels very much that you are determining your own course through the main plot arc. Often a story can be a limitation on player freedom, but here you can choose whether you wait to level up, so it is easier, whether you go in at the lowest permissible level, which party members you take, whether you want to craft your own, usually better, equipment, or just rely on what equipment drops while you play. You can choose to play the missions as soon as you are able to, or ignore them until you have explored as much as you can, or anywhere in between those two opposites. The story missions do feel like a great reward for putting in time towards exploration and the gathering of raw materials that you will no doubt end up doing. The game is drenched in atmosphere, and with such a genre you need a soundtrack that enhances that. Dragon Age Inquisition's soundtrack is epic, emotive and poignant at times. The main theme is appropriate and fitting. In-game sound effects are strong and well chosen. Just wait until you hear a dragon for the first time. Dragon Age Inquisition boasts a large roster of supporting characters, 4 of which can accompany you on your exploration and missions at any one time. Each of these characters are well created with interesting backstories, histories, and a wealth of conversation options that can result in further side missions or even romance if you are so inclined. And it is nice to see a game that doesn't discriminate against sexual orientation too. Although this device that certain missions and events are unlocked only through conversation has been used before by BioWare, it is still a welcome inclusion, offering even more to the player if they are prepared to invest some time and pay attention. There are also a selection of advisors that form the core command structure of the Inquisition, and although they do not accompany you during exploration, they are often involved in story missions or other special missions that you can discover through play. Voice acting is strong and well paced. In all the time that I have played the game, I couldn't fault any performance as particularly weak, and almost all had something worthwhile to say and contribute to the gaming experience. Gameplay on the whole is pleasing. For the majority of the time it works extremely well, and the ability to stop the action in real time and go into a strategic camera position in which you can give commands and basically sort out things if they are going pear-shaped is a welcome device. Of course, a game of this size isn't going to always be perfect, and there are occasional moments where things don't seem to be responding as quickly as they should be, but these are rare moments and certainly not the bulk of the experience, which is fun and fluid. Generally speaking, on the easiest difficulty setting, Dragon Age Inquisition is a non-stop action-packed, faster-paced experience in which you can miss out on a lot of the special nuances developers have packed into the game. On the harder settings, the game will force you to spend a much larger amount of time gathering materials and exploring every nook and cranny in search of rare runes and items, probably offering you a much more involved experience. Having said that, it is certainly feasible to get the most out of the game on the easiest casual setting if you're not particularly skilled or invested in combat, or not inclined to fully maximise out whatever you can. Occasionally you will find an odd glitch. For instance, sometimes your character appears to be floating in mid-air if you try to engage in a conversation too quick. But even if your character becomes stuck because you have gone out of your way to make that happen, simply changing to another member of your party and moving on from the area will bring that party back together. Certainly, for me at least, these rare moments didn't stop me from thoroughly enjoying my time with the game. It would be easy to carry on and tell you more about all of the elements that are available to you in Dragon Age Inquisition in more detail, but this is a game that you should find out for yourself. What BioWare has achieved here is simply breathtaking. A truly epic fantasy role-playing experience that mixes freedom of exploration with a well-crafted and compelling storyline, sprinkled with tasty side missions and a variety of special ideas and moments that augment the experience. From the very beginning, with your first weapon, through to your first taste of exploration, to your first completed story mission, and to the very first time you kill a dragon, Dragon Age Inquisition draws you in and keeps rewarding you until the very end. I personally think this is the most important role-playing game released since Fallout 3, and the best BioWare role-playing game they have released to date. It is that good. Expansions, please.